Alrighty. Now, Garrett, do you have homework?
I do. I do have homework.
So much. Yes, a lot.
Yes.
Homework. A staple of American society and a nightmare for all kids. Homework is almost as ingrained to the education system as McDonald's is to their naming system. Everyone has just accepted it as the way it is. But why? Why is homework so important to the education system? And why haven't schools around the nation gotten rid of it? I think first thing we should do is define what homework technically is. Google defines homework as an out-of-class task assigned to students as an extension or an elaboration of classwork. But what is the purpose of it?
Do you usually know the purpose of your homework?
Not really.
Do you usually know the purpose of your homework when you do it?
No, not really.
And do you usually know the purpose of the homework that you're doing?
Yeah, just to understand what's happening.
Yeah.
In class.
Do you usually know the purpose of your homework?
No.
Do you usually know the purpose of your homework?
Yeah. I try and think like a teacher sometimes,
Alright.
so I understand the need for homework.
So what is the purpose you believe it to be?
I think in a lot of cases it's just to give you practice.
My friend Brandon here brings up a good point. Practice. Practicing and acquiring more knowledge. But I do not believe that that is homework. No, a matter of fact, I believe that is studying. And here's why. Homework was invented in 1905, and it was invented in the city of Venice by a man named Roberto Nevilis. Roberto never created homework as a way to educate his students, but rather as a punishment for those who misbehaved. It was extra work to dilute their time. And that's the key. It's extra work. It's unwanted, it's unneeded, and it's unnecessary. Studying, on the other hand, is a devotion of one's time and attention to acquiring knowledge. It is a desire to learn. And I just feel like homework, and the schools in general, destroy that desire. From the research that I've gathered, it seems that the main claims to homework's benefits are to improve a learning ability, build a student's character, and help parents bond with their children. But I've come to tell you that these claims are either false or just plain misleading.
And does your homework stress you out? Does homework usually stress you out?
Yes. All the
Yeah.
time.
And does homework stress you out?
Yes. Despite not doing it, it still stresses me out.
And does your homework stress you out?
Just a little bit, yeah.
Does homework stress you out sometimes?
Yeah, very. It's terrible.
When the Journal of Experimental Education did a survey on 4,300 students from 10 high-performing high schools in California, they found that more than 70% of students said they were stressed over homework, and 56% listed homework as the primary stressor in their life. Not even 1% of students said that homework didn't stress them out. And who can blame them, based on the sheer amount that we get now these days?
When you're completing your homework, how long does it usually take for you to complete your homework?
A couple hours.
When you have homework, how long does it usually take you?
Probably about 2 to 3 hours.
How long does it usually take for you to complete your homework?
I mean, it's probably supposed to take me 2 to 3 hours, but since I do half of it, maybe 1 hour to 2.
And how long does it usually take for you to complete your homework?
Depends on what class. On average, I'd probably say like 30 minutes maybe.
30 minutes?
20 to 30 minutes.
Per class or just like in total?
Like per class.
So I do it during my open mods.
Yeah.
So depending on how many open mods I have, like if it's a day where I only have 2, which is a lot of days, then it takes me 2 open mods to get it done. So I'm just really speed running it.
The National Education Association recommends that students spend 10 minutes per grade level on homework per night. First grade, 10 minutes. Second grade, 20 minutes, and so on. But the National Center of Education Statistics finds that high school students are getting nearly 7 hours per week, a school day's worth of homework. The OECD also says that after around like 4 hours of homework per week, the additional time invested in homework has negligible impacts on performance. Other studies also report that more than 2 hours per night of homework can be counterproductive. Most of the time too, homework is catered to wealthier, educated, and more grounded families. Students who might not have electricity or internet access are usually left behind when it comes to homework. Students who also have parents that have never graduated high school don't have access to the knowledge of a schooled person. Plus, students who take care of siblings, or go to work after school, or have to come home to a hostile family, won't have time for homework, or it will just be another stressor on top of everything else. The so-called character that homework builds are just mental health problems. Kids now these days have more anxiety than ever. The burnout, the stress, the involuntary alienation from others can just be too much for some. So they cheat. They cut corners. Whatever can reduce the load. And sometimes, this can even mean drug use. So what's the solution? It's about quality, not quantity. No one is going to want to do a whole bunch of assignments for like history or physics or French, because, frankly, they just never go deeper. But giving students one big project on a concept or an event or an idea, well, now homework just became a little more exciting and a little more creative. Because once learning is interesting, then is it technically work?
And finally, the last question, would your life be easier if you didn't have homework?
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. Absolutely. Please, if this is like for like to get rid of homework, please do it. Please. I
Alrighty.
beg you. Please.
It's a pleasure doing business with you.
Thank you.